Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jasmine. I have been a full-time content creator / entrepreneur for the past 5 years, and this channel is dedicated to teaching you everything that I have learned. Okay, so today I want to talk about how we're going to stop self-sabotaging, because a lot of you guys do this and you don't even realize you're doing it. You want a business, you want to be a content creator, you want to build recurring revenue every single month. A lot of y'all want to quit your 9 to 5, but you are standing in your own way. It's not your environment, it's not family, friends. Respectfully, it's you, right? And a lot of times you're self-sabotaging and you don't even realize that you're doing it. So I want to spend time in this video talking about it so that you can stop, okay? Listen, I used to self-sabotage too. I think a lot of us do it. We don't realize it, but it's time to snap out of it so you can get the money that you deserve, okay? So first of all, how to stop self-sabotaging? Well, first of all, it starts with doubt, okay? You are in your head doubting your greatness. You're procrastinating, okay? You're doubting if you're smart enough. So you're asking yourself questions like, am I even smart enough to run a business? Even though it worked for this person, it may not work for me. You're sitting there telling yourself what you can't do and you haven't even tried. So you say things like, I can't. A lot of negative self-talk. I used to do this all the time. Something else that a lot of you guys do is you make excuses. You start saying things, well, I would start this online business, but I don't have enough time. Meanwhile, you're scrolling social media for about 5 hours. That's the time you could be spending towards your business. Exactly. A lot of times you guys say things like, well, I would be a content creator, but I don't have enough money to start. What do you need money for? Social media is free. You already have a phone. You watching this video on your phone. So why can't you use that same phone to start creating content, to start working on a digital product, make it make sense? But again, this is the cycle. So it's a whole bunch of doubt that you continuously fall into day after day that's keeping you stuck, trapped right where you are. Meanwhile, people with less talent as you are getting money. Make it make sense. So you have a long list of doubt, right? And so that doubt leads to delay. You say things like, okay, well, maybe I can make time, but I'm going to start tomorrow. I'm going to start on Monday. I'm going to start January 1. I'm going to start on payday. You have all these imaginary days in your head of when you're going to start the business, you're going to start the content, but these days never happen. Tomorrow never shows up for you. You done went through about 20 Mondays by now and you still haven't started. January 1 doesn't even exist for you. And then payday, yet you get paid every 2 weeks, but yet payday never shows up when it's time for this business that you claim you want so much. This is all self-sabotage at its finest. So you continue to doubt, and then that doubt turns into delay, and then you start to feel guilty. Okay, first of all, let me tell you about something about guilt. Guilt will keep you trapped. The minute you allow yourself to feel bad about a decision that you made is the minute that you stay trapped. Listen, we're human. You're going to make mistakes. It is what it is. Let it go. Stop living in guilt. Stop living in shame. Stop living in regret. It happened. The question is, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? Because if you just sit there in your guilt, nothing's going to get done. Nothing positive comes from guilt. When you start feeling guilty about things, you start crying, you become depressed, you might start to feel anxiety. Nothing positive comes from guilt. What you need to do is forgive yourself. That's what you need to do. You need to accept the fact that this is what's been going on and forgive yourself. Because until you forgive yourself, you will stay in guilt and nothing will get done. So let it go. It happened, it's over, you've been doubting, you've been delaying, okay, you feel guilty, fine, stop, let it go. It happened, you wasted time, it is what it is. Now it's time to move, but you don't move. You, in turn, instead of forgiving yourself, so let me put forgiveness here, or lack of forgiveness, I should say, lack of forgiveness, right? You don't do this. You never forgive yourself. You just hold on to all these bad emotions that you have. But instead of forgiving yourself and letting go and moving forward and building something, what you do is you stay in this repeated cycle. So all you do is repeat and you go right back into doubt. And this cycle continues for years. It continues for years. And the next thing you know, 5 years have gone by, you ain't did shit. Next thing you know, a whole year has gone by. You probably had an idea of starting a business January 1. The infamous January 1 New Year's resolution, right? You didn't start it. So now here we are, October 2025. You're literally going to go right back into the cycle. You're not going to get out. You're not going to forgive yourself, move forward. Oh, absolutely not. You're just going to repeat this cycle about 10 more times, so another 10 years. Meanwhile, people who know how to just forgive themselves, accept the fact that they let time go by, but they're ready to stop the cycle, they move forward. So then they start their brand. They start making content. They start the business. They start all the things that they said they were going to do because they don't allow themselves to sit in guilt. They don't allow themselves to sit in shame and regret. They just let it go. Let it go. It happened. You did all this, okay? You wasted time. Fine. So what are you going to do now? You're going to self-sabotage and repeat this cycle. And until you get out of this cycle, you ain't no business. There's not going to be a business. There's not going to be any content. There's not going to be a brand. There's not going to be a digital product because you refuse to get out of this toxic-ass self-sabotaging mindset. You refuse to work on yourself. You believe in your head that all you have to do is just wait long enough and you're just, a business is just going to fall in your lap. You believe that you don't have to put in any work and one day things are just going to magically get better. There's no work that needs to be taken. Absolutely not. Not in your world. Okay. Not in your world. In your world, things just happen magically. You just pray about it over time and you waste 10 years and things just magically fix itself. You don't have to put in any work to fix it. You don't have to be intentional about nothing. That's what you believe. And that's exactly why you're stuck in this cycle. Because in order to get out of anything, in order to get out of paycheck to paycheck lifestyle, in order to get out of debt, in order to get out of obesity, in order to get out of self-sabotage, you got to be intentional. You got to put in work. You don't get out of these things just by praying. No, you have to help yourself. God helps those who help themselves, okay? Because faith without works is what? Is dead. And you sitting there trying to put in the faith with no work. Anything that you're trying to get out of requires you to take action. It requires you to be intentional. It requires you to stop. But you don't want to stop. You think things are just going to fix itself and you don't have to change nothing about you. Well, keep thinking that. But if you want to stop self-sabotaging, you're going to have to intentionally stop self-doubting. You're going to have to intentionally stop delaying. You're going to have to intentionally stop being guilty. You're going to have to intentionally stop repeating the same toxic cycle. And until you decide to be intentional, you will repeat this cycle for the next 10 years. Okay? This is exactly what we deal with in Glow Up Academy. This is what we do. Because listen, you can have a business, but until you fix your head, until you get out of this toxic mindset that you're in, there will be no business. I promise you that. There are things about you that have to change. And until you decide that you're not just going to wait for a magical unicorn to change it for you and you realize you have to be the source of change, there's no business. But if you want to get out of these toxic cycles, join Glow Up Academy. The link is down below in my description. This is the space where we transform who we are so we can finally get the business of our dreams. Stop waiting. You right here, delay. Oh, I'll join Glow Up Academy tomorrow. No, you won't. Oh, I'll join Glow Up Academy on Monday. No, you won't. Oh, I'll join Glow Up Academy January 1. No, you won't. I'll join Glow Up Academy on payday. No, you won't. You're in this cycle of delay. And then you wonder why nothing's changing. Because you won't change. Bye, guys.